Well, here we are the night before the AP exam. So I thought I would send out a quick little video to you guys, just kind of making sure you got everything squared away, kind of giving some tips. What else are we gonna do, right? All right, cool. So let's take a second and talk about some of the things that are really kind of important to this. All right, so I talked about the checklist. If you've been coming to the online classes, you're probably tired of hearing me talking about it, but here we go one more time. So your test day checklist. So just remember your test is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Please put in your phone. I don't know, put like 1 p.m. so that you have a chance to settle in. All right, if you haven't done so already, make sure the demonstration it works on your computer or device. I can't stress this enough. You do not want to be logging in tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in a second, and have technical issues. Grammarly, you cannot have it on your computer. It will interfere with the app or program, so make sure you get rid of it. Your e-ticket, I don't have your e-ticket. I don't have access to that. You would have gotten it via email on Wednesday, yesterday, or if you didn't get it, you can log into my AP or College Board website and they'll provide it to you. And then the last thing, let me just move my picture. There we go. Bye. All right. Make sure you set up your documents on Word or Google. So you have a couple different ways you can turn things in. My understanding is that you can upload a document. Cool. That's where you would need to make sure your name and all that stuff is on there. If you don't plan on doing that, you can write it by hand and upload pictures. And then lastly, my understanding is you could write it in like a document and then copy and paste it over. All of those are legitimate options. All right. So there's really no big problem to hopefully for you guys technically tomorrow because they've given you so many different varieties. All right. So that's the checklist. Let's talk about what should I do tonight? Cool. I'll move myself out of the way. Cool. Yeah, I'll go down here. Cool. All right. So, you should study just maybe a little bit. Like, look through some stuff. If you've done the essay topic stuff, just take a quick look through them. Don't spend all night doing that stuff. I highly recommend, in terms of what I think is really important, is that if you've printed all these papers out, right, which I kind of strongly recommend you do, have things highlighted, right? Make sure that you've got like the topic or the um, um, essay theme or whatever highlighted on your charts so that when you do look at them tomorrow, you can simply look for the highlighted sections and make things a lot easier. I would also really make sure you put kind of dates on things. So if you've got these periods charts broken down, put dates on them. So when you look at the question and they give you a date, you can immediately know what dates, how to narrow your focus and what to look at, right? All that will be really helpful because you want to make sure that you can calm your nerves as much as possible by having yourself kind of put together. Next thing, sleep. Yeah, this is kind of a big deal. Like, there's no reason to stay up late studying for a whole bunch of reasons. Um, One, if you don't sleep enough, you'll be too tired to really your brain won't function. Also, cramming just doesn't work. It just doesn't. And beyond that, they are letting you use sheets. Just you're better off just making sure your sheets are pretty organized, that you know where everything is, that you got the big ideas in your head, and then you can zoom in on the sheets that you need, right? That's the easiest thing. And the last thing, and this is just more life advice, don't watch or make TikTok videos. You're just really embarrassing yourself, and you should probably find better hobbies. All right. So the next thing we want to talk about is the day of the test. All right. So day of the test. This is kind of a big deal. Make sure you're eating. If you're like a hobbit or something, make sure you're eating like your 4 or 5 breakfasts, whatever you eat. So eat breakfast and then eat lunch and then make sure you have a snack. Like the exam's at 2 o'clock. Just make sure that you have fueled your body. I know that I don't function real well when I'm hangry, so make sure you're not hangry. Next, if you're make sure your device is plugged in and charged. So you could do the night before, I suppose, but like realistically, you're probably gonna be using it a little bit during the day. So I would have it next to an outlet, or if you're when you're taking the test, make sure that you are near an outlet. Because if you're not, then this will become a lot more difficult for you. Also, I've said this before, I'll say it again. If possible, have two devices. All right. What I mean by that is this. Um, you probably want a device where you can take the exam, right? You can have that machine. You're not clicking through tabs, looking at stuff, whatever it is, and then have another device where maybe you are going to um, have if you're not printing things out, you can have your sheets there. That's where you can Google stuff. If you need to Google stuff, but don't do a lot of that, that will slow you down. But again, two devices probably be really, really helpful. Um, Also, like if you decide that you are going to do this on a Google Doc, you could have Google Docs open on both sides and type in one and have the test and the other documents on one. And that way you can kind of just, be looking at the documents on your one screen and typing on the other and not having to be flipping back and forth, right? That just might make your life a little bit easier. All right. Um, I have talked about this before. You've got DBQ outline sheets. I made a new one. I kind of got the feedback from people as we were kind of practicing with them that they might have been too confusing for you. So I made a new one yesterday, and we used it today during our live class. And from the feedback I got, kids felt it was a lot better. So my strong recommendation is this. Um, Go ahead and maybe this will be something you do tonight. Find it. It's literally called like simple DBQ outline form, I think, and just get familiar with it. Just so you know what's on there. Uh, the worst thing you can do tomorrow, all right, on the exam is to kind of go in there without a game plan, without like, how am I going to tackle this test? I'm just going to wing it, and don't do that. All right. So either you don't have to use my forms, and if you want to use them, there's no penalty for doing it. But like my point is this: you got to have a game plan. You got to think about, okay, I need to break down the question. I need to make sure I know what its topics it is, what it's asking me. I need to think about outside information. Cool. Then I need to break down the documents. I want to break down the documents by, do I know who the author is? Do I know anything famous about them, their ideas, their values? Hey, what came before the author? What wrote their thing? What came after the author wrote their thing or said their thing? All right. So you want to sequence the documents in order so that you can be like, okay, there's kind of this chain of stuff that happens. You can do cause and effect, change over time. Like, you just got to have a plan. And in case you haven't attended a single live class and you haven't watched a single video except for this one, I'll say this too. Um, because there's only 5 documents, you only have to use 4. Don't attempt to do a 3 argument essay. So have an intro, 2 body paragraphs, and a time of conclusion. You've only got 5 documents. You only need to use 4. The reason I always said 3 before was because, well, you had 6 or 7 documents to use. That's more. So you need more to write about. You won't have that. And I'd rather have you write 2 very, very good arguments than try to scramble through a third one. All right. What would I do when I wake up tomorrow? What would I do during the day tomorrow? I would do some light studying. I don't mean cramming, light studying. So what does that mean? Look over some notes, look over those essay guideline sheets, click through Quizlet. My thing is, and I've always felt that if I got to warm up my brain, I got to get myself in the mindset. If you can, really tell your family to give you some space for a couple hours before the exam. Eat something, take some time, study, look over some stuff. Just the idea is that when you're going to be nervous, you're going to be apprehensive because you're going to be doing it online. You're going to be, this is for college credit. Anything you can do to calm your nerves, like act like you've been there before, like practice, right? That's why people practice things. I would do it, right? So that's why the little bit of studying to help would help you. The other thing I really, really, really want to stress to you: the exam's at 2 o'clock. You can log in starting at 1:30. All right, please do that. I'll explain a little bit more why in a second, but it's again about calming your nerves. If you're logging in at 1:55 and you are in it, you're not going to be settled in. You're not going to be making sure it works. All that stuff. And of course, as always, it's a test, so you want to have fun. All right, so a couple things I really want to mention to you quickly. So first link you see right here is a link that talks about troubleshooting. So if you log in a half hour early and it's giving you issues, go to this link. All right, the link has a list of different things that could potentially be causing you problems. The reason they provide this to us and I'm providing it to you is so that you can 100% feel confident after you've logged in that whatever the issue is, you can solve it. All right, now some of you are probably thinking, what if my internet goes out? What if my computer dies? What if I have crashes? Whatever it is. So here's the deal. This link down here is a link to basically, from what I'm being told, is the oh crap, something happened IT technical wise, I couldn't finish my test. This isn't I logged into the test and it was like, oh, I don't want to take this. No, this is something legitimately went wrong and I want to try again. Because here's the thing: if you use your e-ticket, they're saying that's it, unless you fill out one of these complaints. And the other thing I stress that you have to do it within 48 hours. Within 48 hours. I think they're saying 40 hours in case your internet went out. Um, listen, I don't know what to expect tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first what I would consider major AP exam. This is one of the most popular ones in the country. I wouldn't be shocked if there's not some technical issues that take place. The best thing you can do is make sure that you are in the best position possible in terms of technology so that you can feel comfortable and ready to go. All right. And then I just want to say this, guys. Listen, it's been a year. It's been a weird year here at the end. You guys have put in the effort. You've put in the time. If you are, you know, nervous, it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. It's a big test. But just remember that if you've done the work and you have, you're focused and you're disciplined, you can do this. All right. You can definitely do this. And I know that you can do this. And I wish you the best of luck. And I can't wait to hear from you because I'm sure you're going to tell me all about it. So have a good night. Rest. Take your test. You can do it. Yes, you can. Just go. All right, guys. I'll see you.